A very good morning, students. We'll start our lecture 6 of Fundamentals of Agronomy course, where we're discussing about the factoring affecting the growth and development of the plant. We discussed the internal factor and we also discussed the external factor. In external factor, we discussed the climatic factor. And next, we'll start with the Edaphic factor that influence the plant growth and development. What do you mean by Edaphic factor? As the name indicates, Edaphic means the soil-related factors. The soil-related factors that influence the plant growth and development, we call it as Edaphic factor. Soil provides physical anchorages to the plant and acts as a storehouse of water, nutrient and air. So the soil factors that influence the plant growth are soil moisture, soil air, soil temperature, soil organic matter, soil organism and soil reactions. We'll start with individually the soil moisture. So, as I indicate that more than 90% of the plant tissue consisting of water which is absorbed from the soil through the root. So, if you see here, water is held in the soil with the two forces, that is cohesive force and adhesive force, and this moisture contained in the soil determines the water availability, nutrient availability to the plant, and in turn depends the growth and development of a plant. Soil moisture maintains the soil temperature, soil regulates the soil aeration. Together, these dictate the activity of biotic factor. The efficient use of inputs in crop production depend on the optimum level of soil moisture. Next factor is the soil air. The composition of soil air differ from that of a atmosphere. As we all know that atmosphere composition is quite lesser with respect to carbon dioxide, but it is very higher with respect to the atmosphere. The soil air has 10 to 100 times higher carbon dioxide than that of atmosphere. If you see here, the atmosphere has 0.003 percent of carbon dioxide, whereas the soil air it is 0.3 to 0.5, the 10 times nearly higher in case of soil. The rice can withstand anaerobic condition because of the presence of parenchymatous tissue, and soil moisture content dictates the soil air and affects the root respiration. If you see the composition, the soil air composition of nitrogen is 78.6%, whereas with respect to atmosphere it is 78.09%, and even with respect to the oxygen, the soil content is higher, nearly 21%, and with respect to air it is 20%, and carbon dioxide it is 0.03 to 0.5% in soil. With atmosphere it is 0.03%. The next, soil temperature is another factor that influences the plant growth and development. As we all know that soil microorganism requires an ideal temperature condition for its growth and development. We consider it as a congenial temperature for the soil microorganism, and availability and absorption of nutrient and water and maximum absorption occur at 20 to 30 degrees centigrade. It regulates the microbial activity and it also plays important role in root growth and development. Then soil organic matter and soil mineral matter. As we all know that a soil, it has, if you consider the soil, it has 45% mineral matter, 5% organic matter, then 25% soil air, 25% soil water. This is an ideal condition of the soil. If that condition is there, that is considered to be as the ideal soil factor for the soil condition for the crop growth and development. The function of this soil organic matter, it supplies the major and minor nutrients such as NPK, CAMGS, potassium, calcium, iron, zinc, copper, boron. It improves the soil structure and aeration. It improves the water holding capacity of the soil, and it is a source of food for the microorganism. Then the next, fifth with respect to the Edaphic factor is soil microorganism. Soil has different kind of flora and fauna. These are called as macroflora and microflora. Macroflora, which include roots of the higher plant, macrofauna, which are earthworms and grubs, whereas microflora, it is algae, bacteria, fungi, actinomycetes, and microfauna, that is protozoa, nematode, mites and insect. Fauna is just animals in terms of micro animals, the microorganism, whereas flora with respect to the plant kingdom. The microflora, which include algae, bacteria, fungi, actinomycetes. Microfauna, which include protozoa, nematode, insects. So these are the microorganisms which are present in the soil. Few are beneficial and few are pathogenic. So beneficial organisms such as Azotobacter, Azospirillum, Rhizobium, blue-green algae, and phosphorus soluble algae such as Pseudomonas are required for the growth and development of a crop. Then soil reaction, the last Edaphic factor, we generally term it as pH of the soil. The pH decides the availability of a nutrient in the soil. Higher the pH, generally the higher salt content, lower the pH, generally the acid condition of the soil. Generally ideal soil pH is around 7 to 7.5, that is close to neutral range, that play important role in growth and development of the crop. Then availability of various nutrient in the soil is also decided by the soil pH. Yes, after understanding the internal factor and external factor, among the external factor with respect to temperature and Edaphic factor, then next we will delve about the biotic factor that influence the growth and development of a plant. Include the beneficial and harmful effect caused by the plant, animals and microorganisms. Plant may be complementary and few are competitive with each other. The competition between the plant occur when the supply of nutrient, moisture and sunlight is very limited, and the competition may between the same crop or may be the different crop or between the weed or the crop. So animals, soil fauna such as protozoa, earthworm, etc. improves the organic matter and decomposition. So the next factor is physiological factor that influence the plant growth and development. The physiographic, that is the slope related factor. The nature of earth slope known as the topography. The nature of earth slope, we call it as topography, which influence the crop growth and development directly, because the flat terrain, the cultivation is very easy. The slopey terrain, the cultivation is very tough. So that influences the plant growth and development. Steepness of the slope dictates the runoff and soil erosion. Increase in altitude causes a decrease in temperature, and physiography dictates the exposure of crop and soil to the light and wind. The next we have last factor, the socioeconomic factor that influence the plant growth of growth. That is social acceptance of a crop and economic condition of the farmer greatly decides the input or resource add in terms of crop growth. As you know that the selection of a crop based on the geographical area, based on the market analysis and based on the farmer specialization also determines the growth and development. So these are all factors which include internal and external factor that decides the growth and development of the crop. The internal factor is the genetic factor. The external factors such as we have the climatic factor, we have soil related factor, we have biotic factor, we have socioeconomic factor, we have physiographic factor that decides the plant growth and development. After this, we'll start our new lecture 7 with seed and sowing. Thank you.